Welcome back, everyone, to Open Line. We are talking with advocates for some of Metro's lower performing schools. We're talking with Sonya Thomas. She is Executive Director of Nashville Propel. Propel stands for Parents Requiring Our Public Education System to Lead, founded in 2018. We're also speaking with John Little. He is Outreach and Organizing Director for Propel. Today, of course, the first day of school for Metro. 86,000 students begin their first day virtually. They're learning online. There were some issues, some concerns, and we're talking about all of that today. Happy to have as one of our callers here, Reverend Fuzz. Reverend Fuzz, hello.
Hey, Ben. I know John and Sonya very well. I could talk to you for an whole hour, but give me 60 seconds, okay?
You can have it, absolutely.
Okay. How about this, Sonya and John? How many times have you gone to elected officials, whether they're school board or public officials, and you've expressed to them your concerns about schools, and they said to you with great smiles, we're going to fix this, we're going to get with you, we're going to have a meeting, we're going to bring the community together, we're going to fix this. And you haven't been able to get them to answer you after that. I want you to be real about that. Has that ever happened? Have you talked to a school board member who said, I'm going to fix this? You're right. We've got to do this, and I'm going to do it. Then I've been watching each show about education. I didn't call in because I was so mad at those no answers that you were getting from a lot of your guests. I don't put them down. The other point I want to make, I think that our school board administrators do not have any kind of accountability. Nothing's going to happen to you if you don't do your job. If you don't get those computers out. Why do we have John and Sonya on your show talking about a plan for education that we've been doing for 100 years? We've been educating people 100 years. How do we not know how to do that? And finally, I want to say, I don't care about the kids. Everybody keeps talking about it's about the children. It's about me. I want some people in my society who will make good lawyers, who will make good elected officials, who will make good, when I go to McDonald's, I get good customer service. That's what I want. It's about me, not the kids. I want to help those children so they can take care of me. Somebody who can read my prescriptions when I'm in the hospitals. It's not so much about the kids. And then finally, too, don't we have 11,000 Metro school employees and 80,000 kids, 84,000 kids? That's like 8 to 1. How do we not get the job done? I think my minute's up, Ben. Thank you.
Reverend Fuzz, it's always great to hear from you. All right, I'll let John, why don't you just start there and respond to Reverend Fuzz?
So I'm just going to stay in the spirit of Reverend Fuzz. Reverend Fuzz was my pastor growing up as a youth. He was run a Boy Scout program, and since I was little, to this day, I mean, even in the hospital, like, he is out helping people. So I'm gonna stay in the spirit of Reverend Fuzz. And I think one of the last things he said we have 11,000 employees for MNPS, and we have 86 or 87,000 students, and that's like 8 to 1. And for me, that goes back to my point of, again, if we sent the man to the moon, if we took a metal object and made it fly, we cut a switch on and created lights, we can fix our public education system. And we haven't done it, right? And just to push a little bit more, I think it has not been the accountability there to do it. And it takes, Sonya says it all the time, like, you gotta be vulnerable. You gotta say what you can't do so we can find out who can, and we can all support each other. But Sonya, what do you think?
First of all, I'm gonna say this, Rev Bud, you know I love you, and you're right. We've been having this conversation for too long, and we cannot and will not, I repeat, listen to me, return to business as usual, okay? There's one thing I know is that no one wakes up in the morning and says that I'm a fail children. I don't believe that there's anyone in this district that works in this district that purposely gets up and says they're gonna fail children. What I do know is there's a lot of excuses, and you can't make excuses and educate children at the same time.
Yeah.
And so we've got to look at the best practices. Leadership has to take some bold stands, make some bold decisions, And we've got to listen to parents. We have a whole plan. We have the plan after talking to the former U.S. Education Director, Arnie Duncan, talking to experts from around this country about how do we save a generation of children. And we have it. We have the research, an individualized learning plan that could possibly save us money. It's going to save us time. It's going to help everyone to feel successful. And it's going to put us on a track that we have never been in. Like, there has not been any academic achievement in this state in 15 years. So I want to say this. The way to change things, the way to make sure that Reverend Buzz is taken care of and I'm taken care of and saving a generation of children is putting politics aside. Stop making excuses. Stop worrying about if parents came up with it, and start really focusing on what is going to save our children, because what we've been doing over the last 15 years, it ain't working.
Yeah.
It's not working at all. So we need to make sure that we invest time. We pass a policy for individualized learning. There goes your equity that you've been searching for years and you keep talking about every day, that everybody talks to us about. Brett Buzz, you're right, every conversation we have, I'm gonna do this, and I want equity. We got your equity, come get it.
And I'm gonna add just one more. And so last week I got a chance to tour this program, I think 413 strong. And I'm walking through the program, and this program is about, for kids 20 to 32 who have just been failed by the system. And I'm walking in and I'm listening in to a session, and I look at this kid right next to me. He had to talk about his goals, what he wants to do in the next 3 to 5 years. I'm like, man, this dude is like really intelligent and really smart, but I'm like, he looks familiar. And so I end up leaving the room, and I asked one of the program coordinators, I'm like, what's that kid's name? And for the sake of privacy, I say he said his name was Robert. Robert was a kid who I taught in the 7th grade who was bright and brilliant. Then he had an attitude problem and a temper, and we failed him. He was supposed to graduate 2 years ago, and here he is, not in somebody's college, not in somebody's apprenticeship, making tons of money doing construction, but he's in a program, a safety net, so he won't go back to jail. And so this is why it's so critical. We're either going to meet him at the front door or they're going to meet us at our back door. And so we have a moral obligation to do the right thing. And so this is not us pointing fingers. This is just to say, this is Nashville. We know where we are on education, and we got to commit to getting better, or people just got to go. Like, if you can't do it, that's okay. But if you can, we need you at the table.
That means there need to be consequences if there are not results. And it sounds like Reverend Fuzz was saying or asking, have there been consequences? You're saying for 15 years things haven't worked. It would mean there haven't been, if they're not results, there are not consequences. Is that true?
Let's put it in Reverend language. Let's go church.
Yeah.
We got to write for vision for our children.
Yeah.
Where there's no vision, the people perish. And our children are dying in these streets, Ben. They're dying in these streets. They're going from schoolyards, they're going to prison yards, to graveyards. And we have to have children to participate in writing the plan and the vision for themselves, setting clear goals, making sure there's intervention in place, and making sure that parents and children are participating in the success. And I know the district saying, well, we're doing that. Well, where is it? You look at these Q files, it's not there. Now, the district is already using individualized learning plans. They use it for EL students, and they use it for students who are in high school to help them to build their career path. Let's start that in kindergarten. Let's start setting goals. Let's start focusing on the children's strengths.
All right, we're going to take a break, and then I'm going to start taking more calls. Tamika, Sarah, hold on. I'll get to your call. Take a break. Be back right after this.